Another measure receiving a lot of scrutiny right now is Senate Bill 615. It would require schools to allow parents the chance to look over any material pertaining to sexual activity, orientation, and gender identity, and give them the right of consent to teach or share that material with their children. Now, much of that is already established state policy, but as Kennedy Sepulvedo reports, there are new concerns being raised by critics of the bill.
Senator Bullard, you're recognized to explain the provisions of Senate Bill 615.
Senator David Bullard introduced Senate Bill 615 on the Senate floor last month. The bill adds requirements to sexual education in public schools that Senator Bullard says will give more power to parents.
In the past, if they did it in a classroom, they had to get parental permission first. And the way the language works now, that includes any kind of administrator or teacher. But what we want to make sure of is if they use the counselors to do sex ed curriculum, that the parents need to be notified. I believe the parents need to be paramount when it comes to a student's education and what they're being taught in schools. Parents need to know about it.
Parent and former educator Robert Rex says parents already have more power than they think they do.
The parents have a lot of stroke in a school district. They have more than the teachers. They have more than business leaders. If enough parents start asking questions about things, they can get things done.
Parents already have the ability to opt their child out of sexual education programs at school taught by an administrator or teacher.
Many of the parents who opted out would opt out without looking at any materials. They wanted to handle this at home.
The change this bill makes would require schools to notify parents of sexual education curriculum if a counselor leads the class or meeting. The bill states that the class or program is designed for the exclusive purpose of discussing sexual behavior or attitudes, or any test, a school counselor-led meeting and or course, survey, or questionnaire whose primary purpose is to elicit response on sexual behavior or attitudes, or any curriculum, material, test, survey, questionnaire, activity, or instruction of any kind related to sexual orientation and gender identity, regardless of whether it is offered as part of sexual education class or program or as part of any other class, program, or activity, should be available for review by the parent or guardian of the student involved. The bill was moved from the Education Committee to the State Powers Committee. That's where Representative John Waldron argued against the bill. He read a constituent's concern during the committee discussion.
And these kids are afraid and panicking about this bill and the pure hatred coming at them from the Oklahoma State Legislature. My son feels their hate. I feel their hate. The Senate author believes that there are some counselors, perhaps in his district, who are holding unauthorized sex education classes in their offices. Now, there's a counselor's code of ethics which covers this, which lays out very clearly what a counselor should and should not do. And so I disagree with the Senate author, Senator Bullard, on that point.
Sarah Cunningham, founder of Free Mom Hugs, says she's been on both sides of the argument.
There was a time in my life as a young mother when I was ignorant to what it meant to have a gender identity and a sexual orientation. And I didn't have the tools or the vocabulary even to talk to my child about that. When my son told me he was gay, I didn't take the news well. I behaved badly. I said and acted in ways that I regret. And I missed an entire adolescence of his life out of fear and ignorance.
Some people are worried that this could out LGBTQ students. Can you address that concern?
No, I mean, what we're saying here is we're picking parents and kids over institutions. So parents need to know about these situations. And even if we're not talking about LGBTQ, if we're talking about sexual activity.
During the Senate floor discussion, questions arose concerning a meeting between a student and counselor. If the counselor initiates a meeting with a student to discuss sexual behaviors, attitude, orientation, or gender identity, the counselor must notify the guardian of the student and make any material available for review prior to the meeting. But what if it is the student who initiates the meeting with the counselor and those topics are addressed?
They hand them the materials. Even in that spontaneous type meeting, They have to make that transparent and available. They don't have to notify, they just have to, if the parent requests it, they have to be able to do it.
That can be very difficult, especially in cases where parents and kids don't see eye to eye on these issues. It could lead to real trouble.
If you're scared of an audit, probably it means you have something to hide. So why would you be scared of something like this? Why would you ever be scared to notify the parents of a curriculum you're teaching your children?
Because they're fearful to share this part of their lives, oftentimes in maybe a home that's not affirming, and school may be the only safe place that they have.
If parents are concerned about what is being taught, they can ask. Normally, they'll either get a list of things that are being talked about or sometimes specific curriculum.
If Senate Bill 615 makes it out of the House, it does have to go back to the Senate for further conversation due to a procedural move made by lawmakers. Kennedy Sepulveda, the Oklahoma News Report.